At last count, there were 800 billion ways to climb a rope. Of these 800 billion ways, we've chosen to use the Texas Kick. It's relatively simple and easy to teach. It's relatively cheap, easy to fit on participants. Most importantly for us, though, it's a very easy system to get on and off ropes, switching from ropes to anchors. Here Sarah's demonstrating the system. There are two ascenders. The lower ascender is got a foot loop. She stands in the lower ascender and shoves the upper ascender up and immediately sits. There's a connection of both of those ascenders back to the harness, so if one fails, then you're secure on the other one. Other than being incredibly inefficient, it suits our purposes. We attach our ascenders to our harness using 1-inch tubular webbing. These yellow lengths of webbing are 80 inches long and tied into a loop with a water nut. That gives us a loop of about 36 inches in length. That's a good size for most participants. Here Sarah is girth hitching the sling through one of the holes in the CMI ascender in such a way that the water knot is not in the way there. And she's going to girth hitch the other end to our harness. Girth hitching is a good way here to save carabiners. If you used a carabiner for all these connections, then you would very soon find out that you needed 100 million of them. She girth hitches the ascender so it's just off to the side of the belay loop, and the belay loop is still accessible for other purposes. Once you have the ascension sling in place, pull it up. You'll notice here that that ascension sling is too long. If it's too long, you can quickly throw an overhand knot in the ascension sling and pull it up again. Should be roughly the height of your nose or chin. And that's about right. The lower ascender in the Texas Kick system has two attachment slings. One of those slings, the yellow one, is for your harness. The other one, the green one, is for a foot loop. The length of the yellow sling doesn't really matter here, but the length of the green one does. If you put your foot in the foot sling, then the arm you're holding your ascender with should be roughly at a 90-degree angle. That's the most comfortable length for most people to ascend with. The yellow sling needs to be girth hitched back to your harness. It's fairly convenient here if you put that girth hitch on the opposite side from your top ascender. The yellow slings are color-coded here. Green one's always for foot, the yellow ones are always going back to your harness. Makes it a little bit clearer for participants who are new to the process. And there's the whole rig. It's fairly simple. We use a couple of different ascenders in our program. Here's a CMI ascender with two holes in the bottom. The Petzl version has only one. In order to attach our foot loop, we just take the foot sling and shove it right through the handle. It doesn't seem to get in the way there. Once you have your ascenders attached to your harness, you're ready to put them on the rope. In the Texas Kick system, the ascender with a foot loop goes below the upper ascender. This is one of the great advantages of the Texas Kick system, is that it's very easy to get on and off the rope. Initially, it's going to help you to pull out all the slack. After you've pulled out all the slack, you can start going up. Here, Sarah's demonstrating the classic sit and stand motion. It's very important to tell your students to try and pull the foot back underneath their butt so they can use their leg power to stand straight up, to shove the upper ascender up rapidly and sit back in their harness. If you don't have the bucks to shell out for a couple of ascenders, you can assemble the same Texas Kick system very cheaply by using prusik loops. Here the red prusik is equivalent to the upper ascender. A lower prusik is tied in the open conformation. One of those loops is for your foot, and the other loop connects back to your harness. It's a backup in case the upper prusik fails. Texas Kick with the prusiks can be a little tricky. You might have to work the knot a little bit to loosen it up, and there are no nice handles to grab a hold of. Most people seem to like to stand up on the foot loop and then hand over hand up the rope to advance the upper prusik. As with any rope system on which your life depends, it's a very good idea to double check the whole rig before you leave the ground. Here we use the ABCs to remind ourselves of some of the things we need to check before we climb. A for ascenders. Are the ascending slings securely tied with a water nut? Are they connected to the right place on your harness? B. Belay device. Did you remember to bring your belay device with you so you can rappel back down? Kinda sucks to be stuck up in the tree and realize that you left it on the ground. C. Carabiners. Did you bring along at least 2 locking carabiners to aid in your rappel and to changing anchors? D. Double back. Is your harness double back? E. 8 knot. Is the 8 knot that joins your ascension rope in a loop tied correctly? Yes, I know this is a Flemish bend for real, but we need F for full circle. Are all the knots in your full circle and the ground anchor tied correctly? And lastly, GH. Have you got your helmet?